Well, hey there, everybody. I'm so glad to have you here for Teach My Class. Today, we're going to be talking about key literary terms. This is part two. You can also view part one. You don't have to do them in any particular order, but let's get started. So, I'm Mrs. Acero, and I have an online teaching store called All in One Middle School. And I was a teacher for 34 years, and language arts was really my passion. This lesson is a mini lesson. It's very concise. You'll be very clear what you should know by the end. This presentations, along with the guided notes, are available in my TPT store if you are interested. If you are using the guided notes, when you see this icon here with the pencil and the paper, that means that you should fill them in. If your teacher lets you work with a partner, you will turn and talk in certain portions. I hope you find it helpful, and let's get started. So, it's always good to have a mentor text to refer to when you're learning skills. It doesn't have to be in writing, however. Using short films is fun and helps us with the skills being taught. For the lessons on literary terms, I am going to use an Oscar-nominated short film called Hair Love. If you did part one of literary terms, you may have already watched it, but you may want to rewatch it again. Your teacher may prefer to use a different mentor text or film, so when you take notes, just substitute in whatever your teacher would like you to use. So you're going to pause my video and click on Hair Love. It's about 6 minutes long and it's in the comments of this video. Why do we need to know literary terms? There is no doubt that you have been reading books for school and enjoyment. Hopefully, this has been mostly enjoyable, and hopefully, you've had some opportunities to discuss your books with others. As you're discussing, you naturally use terms like character and problem. Other terms are more academically suitable when discussing literature in class. So, with literary terms, we really want to get on board. Today's goal is to understand that there are certain academic terms to use when you are reading and writing. These are called literary terms, and knowing them will serve you well throughout your academic career. Today, we will go over some of the important terms that you will need to know. Some of this might be a review for you. So we're going to go over some of the conflict terms first, and we're going to focus on external conflict. So a conflict is a struggle between two opposing forces in a story. There is usually one main conflict and other minor conflicts. Some are external and some are internal. And I just want to point out to you that we have this icon here. That means that if you are using the guided notes, now is the time to fill them in. Within conflict, we have external conflicts. An external conflict is a struggle between a character and some outside force. One type of external conflict is person versus person. This is where the main character in a novel or story struggles with another character. Person versus nature is a conflict between people and forces of nature that are out of the character's control. Person versus fate or destiny is a force that a character cannot control, such as facing an illness, parents getting divorced, and things like that. Person versus society is when a character deals with the values and customs by which everyone else's lives are being challenged. Okay, let's talk about internal conflict. Internal conflict is a struggle between a character's values or desires and their goals. It often arises as a result of external conflict. This type of conflict is called person versus self. Some famous examples of person versus self. Character, Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz. The external conflict is person versus tornado and Dorothy versus the tornado. How it leads to internal conflict. Dorothy originally felt that no one supported her when Mrs. Gulch tried to take Toto, but now she wants to get home. Harry from Harry Potter. His external conflict, one of them, is Harry versus Lord Voldemort. How it led to an internal conflict, the struggle between Harry and Lord Voldemort makes Harry comes to terms with his courage and what he has to do. So now you're going to try it. Think about the film Hair Love. Turn and talk to your partner about the types of conflict you see in this film. You might not see them all. If you have the guided notes, fill them in together. So you're going to talk about person versus person, person versus nature, person versus fate and destiny, person versus society, and person versus self. If you're using a different mentor text, you'll turn and talk and discuss that one. So some other important terms. Genre, a category for a piece of writing based on form, style, and content. Examples, realistic fiction, historical fiction, science fiction, fantasy, drama, biography, informational, etc. Symbol, a physical object or thing that represents an abstract idea. Things, colors, weather, landscapes, etc., can all be symbols. For example, the ruby red slippers can represent power in The Wizard of Oz. Theme, an idea or message about life revealed in a work of literature. Theme should be written as a universal statement about life. For example, The Wizard of Oz theme can be There's no place like home. So you're going to continue now either with Hair Love or the mentor text assigned to you by your teacher. Turn and talk to your partner about these terms. If you have the guided notes, fill them in together. So you're going to talk about genre, symbols, and theme. And that's a wrap. Be sure to tune back for the other lessons to help you become a better reader and writer. Hope to see you soon. Bye, everybody.